Lawrence, when you first got the diagnosis of cancer, did you know how to fight for yourself? Did you know how to speak up for yourself?
No, I don't know how to speak for myself.
Was it because they were doctors, it was intimidating, or was it because of the cancer diagnosis? What made you afraid to speak up for yourself?
What are they thought they give me from breast. I could be scared.
Through your journey, did you eventually learn to say, I have questions, this doesn't sound right, I'm hurting? Did you learn to speak up for yourself? Did you learn to be a, they say advocate means that, no, you did?
No,
Do you feel comfortable speaking up for yourself now?
yes.
Yes. What would you say? What would you tell a doctor?
Now, I can tell the doctor, I tell God, thank you first. And thank God for my school. And thank God for my helpers. They're well for me. They take me to there, my eyes open to see my son
Yeah.
and to see my brother children and him with me. And I thank God, thank you for that school. Not only the treatment, but the encouragement. She encouraged me day and night. And I tell her, oh, she can say, oh, I tired. Answer me. Answer my son. When she talk, she will test my son. Give all the reason what to perform. Treatment of my pain.
Well, I'm grateful for her too in your battle. So, Dr. Cooper, how would you encourage patients to speak up, to be their own advocate, to say, this is what's going on, I don't feel comfortable, no, I'm in too much pain? How would you encourage the patients?
First, I would say, I think it was said earlier, you know your body. You may not know everything about the diagnosis and the lab test, but you know what feels good and you know what feels bad. And sometimes the doctors need to hear from you. It's what you would tell the doctors that would let them know that things are going well or they need to change something. So don't be afraid, because a lot of times the patient feel that they should not tell the doctor they feel bad, because if they tell the doctor feel bad, oh, the doctor will feel bad. I don't want the doctor to feel bad. You have to tell the doctor, because what you are telling them will maybe give them the information they need to treat you better. If, for example, we have a patient that has a knot in the breast and the patient starts the treatment, that doctor is expecting for the knot to get smaller. If the patient themselves feels the knot is getting bigger, the knot is starting to hurt, they have to tell the doctor. Because if they don't tell the doctor will be there thinking you are getting better. And they will continue with the same route. But if you are brave enough to tell the doctor, it is your words that will save your own life. For the doctor to know that, no, I need to change something here. Something is not working. So don't be afraid that maybe you will hurt the doctor's feelings, you will make the doctor feel bad. No. Think about it like you and the doctor are working together. That is something that we really believe in. We call it healthcare companions. So you are the companion of the doctor. Two of you are working together. You are partners together. The doctor is giving you treatment. You yourself have to agree to take your treatment. You yourself have to be the watchman. You have to be the one that's watching to know, is the treatment working? Because even if you see a doctor once in a month or even once in a week, if you see a doctor every single week, once in a week, in a year you saw that doctor 52 times, there are more than 300 days left. So you were the one on duty the other 300 days, right? 300 and what, 13 days. You were the one on duty. That doctor was only on duty for 52 days. So you have to work with the doctor. The doctor does not know everything. They know a lot. They know how to treat you, but you have to tell them, is the treatment working? Most especially with pain. Because as doctors who will give you pain medicine, you know if the pain medicine is working or not. We don't know unless you tell us. So as doctors, we actually rely on you. We need you to tell us how you are feeling. We need you to tell us if you feel the treatment is working. Aside from monitoring or being the watchman, it's very important for patients to be able to trust their doctor. So if there is something that the doctor tells you and you don't really believe it, maybe there's more explanation they can give you. But don't just say, you will not say anything, then you need that data, but you know what you're talking about. Then you go different place. No. If you don't understand or you don't believe it completely, talk to the doctor. Let the doctor explain. That doctor, you know how many years they went to school? Let them explain themselves. Let them explain the reason. Let them explain why they're doing it. Because if you don't trust that doctor, let's say, for example, with a cancer patient, you have received a diagnosis. I said it earlier, the minute you know, you need to start planning, how will we attack this cancer? You can't give it a chance to start growing on you, right? So if you say you don't agree with what the doctor is saying, you don't believe them, you start going to different place. 2 months pass, 3 months pass, 6 months pass. The whole time the cancer is growing. The whole time the cancer is growing. So if you don't understand, it's better you sit with them until they can explain it, until you understand. If after you have asked all your questions, still you don't fully understand, you can say, okay, I want a second opinion. The second opinion tells you the same thing, you need to think, maybe it's me who is not understanding this thing, right? But it's very important, if you don't understand something, ask. Let the doctor explain. And the doctor that refuses to explain to you, that's not the type of doctor that you want. Any doctor that is a good doctor, if you ask them a question, they should be able to explain. They should not ask you why you're asking questions. They should be happy you are asking questions. Because that means you are a responsible patient who wants to take care of themselves. They should be happy to answer your question.
And Dr. Supu, would I ask you the same question? How would you encourage patients to speak up for themselves?
Well, it cannot be overemphasized that patients need to speak out for themselves because there are so many things that stop patients from speaking out. Number one is the issue of lack of information. We live in a society where the illiteracy rate is very high. So most of the times our patients are not even aware of what's going on. They don't know what's happening. So, and like Dr. Cooper has already mentioned, we are doctors. We are trained to treat you, but we don't feel what you feel. So if you are experiencing something, the best thing to do is to let us know. I always encourage my patients to own their health. I say to them, this is your problem, this is my problem, but it's more of your problem. So you have to own your health. You have to ask questions. There's an adage that says that, our old people say that the stranger that asks questions never misses the road. So if you come to the village for the first time, you don't know your way around, even wherever it doesn't have to be village, somewhere, if you go somewhere for the first time, you don't know, you will not get lost if you ask questions, right? So asking questions will not kill. It's always good to ask questions. And as the patient, you need to own up, you need to take charge of your health. And you can only take charge of your health by speaking out. Our society limits us with the issue of lack of information, but then also bringing it further down to the issue of breast cancer. Our society puts us, the women, in a place where we don't feel free to talk about our breast, to talk about things that are happening to us. I'm having this breast problem. I don't want to say it because, it's almost like a taboo to talk about it. So we need to lift that veil where talking about the breast or talking about the health issues are seen as taboo and allow people to speak up, create a space where people will feel safe to speak up, because it's only through speaking up that you can get help. If Florence had not spoken up for the first time by telling her church mate that I have this lump in my breast and I need help with getting treated, she would not have received that first $100 that took her to Redemption Hospital. She would not have received the second $300 that took her to Small Catholic and later on to JFK, where we interacted, and then, that's where the ball got rolling. So you need to speak up. So I will always encourage patients to speak up, because when you speak up, that's the only time people know that you need help. People cannot tell that you need help when you are quiet. So patients need to speak up. When you are receiving treatment, give the doctor feedback. If the treatment is working, let the doctor know how you feel. If the treatment is not working, let the doctor know how you feel. It's your right to speak up. It's your right to ask questions. And like Dr. Cooper has said, any doctor who who will feel offended or have problem with you as a patient asking questions, you don't need to sit with that doctor, because no doctor is supposed to allow a patient to leave the consultation room without understanding what is happening. You understand? I always say to my patients that healing starts from the mind. Our brain is the control center of our body, whether we like it or not. So the brain is the control center. The brain tells us to move our hands, it tells us to move our feet. Healing starts from the mind. So if you and your doctor are on the same page, have this positive page that, hey, okay, I've been diagnosed with breast cancer, but I know this is not the end of my life. There's hope for me. There's a way forward. So I'm going to approach this from a very positive angle. And you have as difficult as it might seem, but you exhibit a very positive attitude towards it. And that was one thing that I loved about Florence. With all that happened, Florence stayed positive. She will call me, she will be in pain, she will be crying, but I always told her that hey, hang in there, you will be okay. And she always said, Doc, I know I will come out okay. So you have to be okay and you have to speak out. Healing starts from the mind. So when you as a patient speak out and your doctor and you are on the same page, you get better results as compared to when your doctor is there trying to treat you and then you there on the other end, like, I don't believe what this doctor is saying or what the doctor is doing. I don't believe the treatment is not going to work. Positive and negative will always, they wouldn't go together. The energy will always repel each other. So you have to speak out, because that is the only way your doctor will know what's happening to you. That's the only way people can know what's happening to you, to be able to lend a helping hand. So I will always encourage my patients to speak out, and I'm always happy when they do speak out.
Thank you. Well, I want to say several times through this discussion, you have mentioned that Florence called you. I think that's so special that she had direct access to the person who was treating her. She didn't talk to a recording. She didn't talk to this person who passed a message. So many times throughout this discussion, you said Florence will call me. And so I just want to highlight, I think that's a very special relationship with a doctor and patient. I know it's not always possible, but it's something to be applauded. So Dr. Jala, same question. How would you encourage a patient to fight for themselves?
Okay, I think Dr. Cooper and Dr. Super will say a lot, but I will say that the first thing that we see here in Liberia is most people, when something go wrong or they have a breast mass or something, it takes them a long time to get to help. And when they get to the help, then they send them all the way around. So once you go to the first place and they tell you this is it, I think you as the patient should go for the second opinion quickly, because the longer you wait to start the treatment, the worse off you will be. Then the other thing is education. We know that the population is, a lot of the people do not understand what's happening with them, and they come to the doctor and they explain. Like in Florence's case, her son or any other family member can go on the internet. These days, the internet is flooding with information. So you can go on the internet and find out, the doctor told me I got breast cancer. Can you look up breast cancer? Let's see what they say about it. And that will help you too, because now you're getting another information. The doctor told you something, but now you're getting more information. That way, when you come back to the doctor, you have learned something. And then you can ask the doctor, oh, I read on the internet that the treatment, what's my treatment plan? Because you have to know in order to ask for what the doctor will do for this diagnosis they have made. So if you have some knowledge of the different, well, what can Liberia offer? Or maybe you a person that has money and you want to leave the country, you think it would be possible if Liberia doesn't have radiotherapy, and radiotherapy is the best treatment, can I go to Ghana? But if you don't know that information, you will be right here. So getting or being able to get more information on your condition, it will help you. And if you yourself not familiar with all of the new technology, you can ask a relative. Then you need to look for financial support, because having a diagnosis of any type of cancer is expensive. So you need to go to your church, go to different people that have some support, or even ask your doctor if they know of any places that would be able to support you, like what was done for Florence. They sent her to another place that, were having a recruitment, and they were able to recruit her into the program. So you need to know, where can I get financial support? And that financial support is very, very important for you to be able to get through your diagnosis. But also being able to educate others, be advocate for others. Because here, when people have a disease, they go to the church, they go here, they go there. By the time they really find out what's wrong with them, it's already late. That early being able to catch any of these diseases early will save your life. And also having a healthy lifestyle. You yourself, because this is not on the doctor not going to follow you to your house to see how you are living. You have to do the living, and you have to be living correctly, or eating the right type of food and doing your exercise and other things that will help you to be healthier. So you as an advocate for yourself, but also for others.
Last question, and anyone can answer. Is there shame with the breast cancer diagnosis in Liberia? Is there stigma? Is there shame with that diagnosis?
One thing that I have seen that unfortunately cost a lot of women their lives, sometimes they're shame from the diagnosis, but a lot of women feel shame from the surgery.
Okay.
Women who have very advanced breast cancer, you can see the what they call a knot has broken through the skin. They say, oh, it's rising, it's bleeding, it's painful. The woman is crying in pain, but they swear they cannot remove it. Because they say, I'm a woman. How can I not have my breast? I'm a woman. But that breast is killing you right now. So there's a certain point where you have to choose between, am I a woman without a breast, or am I a woman who passed away? And it is, I cannot say that is an easy decision, but I think it's something I think Dr. Superwood mentioned as well. It's part of this stigma that they put around women, that women are supposed to do this, women are supposed to do that, women are seen as a baby machine. So you have to have everything that looks like, even if you're 50, 60 years old, you still have to have all the pieces of the baby machine still have to be there. So once you don't have a breast, it's like a total stigma. What happened to, how can I live without a breast? Mama, not a breast keeping you alive. Oh. If I said that a breast killing you right now, not a breast you're using to breathe, not a breast that pumping the blood in your heart, not a breast feeding you every day. It is not easy to live in a society as a woman who has had a breast removed. I'm not trying to say that it's easy. I'm not making fun of it. But sometimes we have to make difficult decisions to save our life. And I do think that that is a stigma that the society has that creates a level of shame that women end up losing their whole life to save the breast. And they and the breast all go.
Also, I think the stigma also comes from when the breast begins to burst, it bursts and it's smelling. People won't want to come around you. So they'll say, oh, that, they will start or ostracizing you and things like that. Even your own family, the stigma comes within family. Where we see those late stages of cancer, they just bring the patient and they want to dump the patient. And even if we're advocating for you to take care of your patient, this patient is a dying patient, be there up until the patient dies, and they won't want to do it. They prefer to take the patient and dump the patient on the hospital or somewhere else and go. So part of the stigma is your relative have cancer. You don't want to take care of them. Nobody can come to your house, and things like that.
So, in addition to what Dr. Chala and Dr. Cooper have also said, there's this issue where, because of lack of knowledge, people think that cancer is contagious.
Okay.
I get that question a lot when they get the diagnosis. One of the most common questions I get asked, like, Doc, can someone else get this cancer by coming in contact with me? So I think that's another factor that comes into play too, that people think that cancer is contagious and it can be,
Catching.
they can catch, the family members can catch it. But I mean, lack of knowledge is an issue. And then the issue of losing the breast, not wanting to lose your breast, is not, I don't think it's something that's unique to Liberia. Because all around the world, telling a woman that she has to let her breast go for where I studied in Egypt, it was also an issue too. So, because telling a woman that she has to lose her breast is like, sorry for my expression, it's like telling a guy that you have to cut off his testicles, his balls. No man wants his balls to be cut off. Same with her. So it's like a woman losing a breast is, the breast is meant for beautification. So losing your breast is like you losing a part of you. So I think that has the psychological aspect of it comes into play, along with the stigmatization about the, you know, the scent when the breast has become has gotten, you know, so advanced in mass and what have you. So it's a whole lot of things and lack of information. So those are some of the things that happen. Yeah.
All right, and that concludes session 2.